Hey, 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 hey. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Spirit Speaks experience for today. How are you doing? 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 So today we're looking at the invisible rope around your bank account and how to cut it in 4 steps. Hey, I'm Rosemary Nonny Knight. I am the prosperity minister and business coach to ambitious spiritual people determined to make at least 5 to 10K or more each and every month whilst living luxuriously in their purpose. I help you leave behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past and rise victorious in your true design life. And I believe your true design life is a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life if you will claim it. Okay. I'm all about combining practical action with internal action to make sure your everything is aligned to create tangible real world results. Okay. Now the first step to understanding how I work and all of that is to get a copy of my book, the Money Manifestation Mastery and Strategic Divine Guidance book. So you can message me the word book and I'll get that straight out to you, or you can look at the link on my bio. It's going to be there. Okay. Now let's look at the divine download for today. As I like to say, and just to for anybody listening in for the first time, this divine download it's something every day I sit down with the divine, okay, and I ask for a message for my paying community, the Deliberate Millionaire Gathering, and then whatever comes through, I type it out, I put it in the group. Now, what I'm doing currently for the wider community is to use these messages from last year, share some of them with you. So today's one is this: listen in. Let it go. The need to be seen and approved of, the need to be understood, even if it means being less than yourself, the need to be adored by anyone who does not truly see you. Let it all go. See yourself as I see you. See yourself and love yourself. Admire yourself. Admiration does not always have to come from outside of you. I talk in these terms for your benefit so you can understand me. You wait for someone out there to see you, to acknowledge you, to give your life meaning, to tell you that the thing you long to do is valid. You so desperately want to be admired, whilst also so desperately wanting to be free of the need for all of these things. You are pulled apart by guilt and shame. Guilt that you are not what they want, while also not wanting to be what they want. Shame that you're not enough. A pull and push continually going on within you to rebel against what they want, to submit to what they want, to rebel, to submit, to rebel, to submit. Neither stance is freedom. Look to me. Look to you. Set yourself free. Let it all go. You have felt yourself straining against the ropes that bind you to a level of living that is lower than you desire. It is time to let go of the ropes. Yes, you are the one holding on to them and you no longer need to. Let them go so that you can rise. You cannot see the vast landscape available to you until you let go and rise. Right now, it feels like this pain is all there is, but there is more, and it will only be seen when you let go and rise. Of course, you're so immersed that you cannot always tell when something is painful. You have forgotten what a pain free existence feels like, but you catch glimpses and it does call to you. Let go and rise. Okay. So that was the divine download. So we'll disseminate it a little bit here. So the divine starts by saying the need to be seen and approved of, the need to be understood, even if it means being less than yourself, the need to be adored by anyone who does not truly see you. Let it all go. That's the invitation, to let that stuff go, because this need to be seen, to be approved, to be understood, to be admired, to be validated by people outside of you is keeping you bound up to a level of living that is lower than what you truly desire. And for many ambitious spiritual people, it is quite subtle. You may not actually think that you're looking for approval. You may think, I don't care what people think. I'm independent. I make my own decisions. I'm not a people pleaser. But then look at your life. Look at your life. You soften what you say, your message, so that certain people don't judge you. You don't charge what you know your work is worth because someone might think that you're greedy. You don't speak about the divine in the way you really experience the divine because someone might think that you're too much or you're too weird. You don't move fully into your purpose because someone in your world may not understand why you even want to do this. Your life is fine. Why do you care about living in your purpose or anything like that? You don't let yourself prosper because you're not sure you're allowed to have more than the people around you. You don't fully rise because you're still waiting for someone out there to tell you, yeah, honey, you are valid. Yeah, you're allowed. Yeah, your longings matter. Yes, your work is real. Yes, your life has meaning and all of that stuff, which when you really think about it, you worry so much about how you come across to people. And so you are pulled apart by this the guilt and shame. Guilt about what you are doing or not doing, shame about who you are as a person. Okay, shame that you're not enough, guilt that you're not what they want you to be. And so you swing between rebelling against it, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, to, oh, well, maybe I should care what people think about me. Maybe it's actually a good thing. Maybe it's a good hearted spiritual person such as myself should care very much what people think about me. So you rebel, you submit, you rebel, you submit, you rebel, you submit. I'm doing my own thing. And then you panic, you shrink. I don't care what they think, but then you alter your whole life to keep people around you comfortable. And the divine is telling you neither stance is freedom. Rebellion is not freedom if they are still the reference point. And submission is not freedom either if you're killing yourself to be acceptable. Freedom is when you connect and stay connected to the divine and you look to the divine, you look to yourself. That's what starts to set you free, not what anybody else thinks about you. So there's 4 steps that will help you. I take my clients through these 4 steps. These 4 steps will help you as well to break free of this approval trap, call it that, okay? Number 1 is you need to be aware that there's an issue happening here. You need to be aware of it. So pretending that you do not think about how you come across to other people, it doesn't help you, because if you pretend that that's not an issue, then how are you going to actually handle it? Really think about how much you limit yourself because you're worried about what people will think of you. Again, you have to be aware that this is happening, or else how are you going to fix it? You can't set yourself free from something you keep pretending is not there. So where do you still feel you need someone to approve of you? Where do you still need someone to understand what you're doing before you allow yourself to move? Because if they don't understand it, then maybe it's because it's not legitimate. Really, really, your vision, the thing that you are specifically called to do, it's you could I like to say to us, when I'm writing my emails and things, it's like you're a wayshower. You're a bringer of the new. Some of the things that you're going to want to share with people or want to put out there, nobody else has done before, or at least not in the way that you want to do it. And even if it looks slightly similar to something that somebody else is doing, the way you will talk about it because of your experiences and the way you've walked through life, it's going to be different from everybody else. So waiting for people to understand exactly what you're about and why you're doing it and blah, 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 means you may never start if the need to be understood is the prerequisite for you to actually make a start. So, where are you waiting for people to understand you before you move? Where are you waiting for someone to admire you before you feel valid? You are valid already. Do you know that? Where are you still needing someone to tell you that what you would like to do is allowed? Maybe even tell yourself that you're waiting for the divine to give you more permission. Honey, your vision is already your permission. So if you are waiting for the divine to give you some kind of other go ahead, it's a lie. The divine isn't the one holding you back. It's you holding yourself back, waiting for some approval from some deity that is waiting for you to move. Basically, where are you waiting for someone out there to give your life meaning? Because that way of thinking and being, it does produce pain, emotional pain. And for a lot of people, you're so used to living with that emotional pain, you don't even realize that it's painful anymore, because it's just normal for you to have this ongoing discomfort with yourself. It's just normal. But I'm asking you to start to be aware that it isn't supposed to be normal. It isn't supposed to be normal. Okay. And also it produces this whole waiting for somebody else to tell you that you're okay and then to approve of you, even if you're not doing it consciously. It produces this feeling of guilt, this guilt that you're not doing what people want you to do, this guilt that you're not small enough, that people think you're too much, or that people think you're too big for your boots, or whatever, or guilt that you're not being what they want you to be, guilt that you want more, guilt that you want more money, or it just guilt is such a it's such a vision killer, because guilt makes you feel like a bad person. Even if it's unjustified guilt, especially unjustified and unquestioned guilt, makes you feel like a bad person. And so you're unconsciously going through life feeling like a bad person. And for you, because you're that wonderful, nice hearted, spiritual person, you believe that bad people are not allowed to prosper. So you do not allow yourself to prosper. So, yeah, you would like to live luxuriously in your purpose, but you feel guilty about the idea of living luxuriously in your purpose. You feel guilty about wanting to be freer than the people around you. And it's not because it's not, you're not, you almost feel like for you to have means that others will not. And it's not true. And logically, you kind of know it's not true. But do you? Do you? And there's this shame inside of you of not feeling enough. Shame that you're, or maybe you're too much, in fact. Shame that you're not what other people want you to be. Shame that your gifts, your desires, your spiritual wisdom, that you're not, that it's unusual, that it's different from what people want from you. And it took me so long to step away fully from being a pharmacist because pharmacist sounded more acceptable. Coach sounded less. Basically, now I'm not sure why I thought that way, but I did at the time. Okay. So you start to wonder, am I allowed to prosper if they don't approve, if they don't understand, if they're disappointed in me? For some of y'all, you're holding on to professions and careers and businesses because other people think that that's where you should be, and you don't want to be there anymore, but you're telling yourself you have to be because it's expected of you, or someone paid a lot of money to put you in this place, and so now you feel forever beholden to them. But you need to be aware that this stuff is controlling you, keeping you off your own purpose path. Okay, keeping you off your own purpose path, because again, you are bringer of the news. Sometimes some of the stuff that you need to bring into the world is not going to sound like anything anybody else is familiar with. So if you're waiting for them to understand or to give you permission, you're going to be waiting forever. And please, it's not enough for you to say, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. Really look at where you hold yourself back, because for the most part, for most people, you do care a heck of a lot more than you admit. Again, if you do not admit that there's an issue, how are you going to fix the issue? How are you going to handle it? Okay. It's not humility to pretend to be less than who you are. Okay. It's not reasonable to keep pretending to be less than who you are. The divine says you are the one holding on to these ropes and chains that keep you stuck, and you no longer need to. Okay. You no longer need to keep waiting for approval. So, first and foremost, number one thing is be aware that this is what is happening inside of you. Be aware that you are holding yourself back because you're worried about how you're coming across. Don't just blanket, oh, I don't care. You do care. And whilst you care, whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, it's holding you back. It's keeping your bank balance from growing because don't allow yourself to do the things that you need to do in order to grow your bank balance, because you're telling you're worried about how you're coming across to people around you. And if you can't see it for yourself and you know that things are holding you back, then you need to get support, get help. Come and work with me. I can help you see where you are holding yourself back whilst telling yourself you're not. Okay? Okay? Okay, number 2 thing to do. So once you become aware that actually, yes, you know what? I am falling for this approval trap thing. Number 2 is start to question the beliefs that hold this whole need to to be approved of in place. Okay? So you need to start questioning these old beliefs. Questioning, do I have to act in a certain way in order to be acceptable? Does my vision have to look like what people want it to be? Do I need their approval really? Logically, I know you don't, but your actions are telling you that you do. Okay? Feeling guilty is not always guidance, actually. Sometimes you've been trained and conditioned to feel guilty if you don't do what people would like you to do. And sometimes what people are asking you to do, or who people want you to be, is no longer who you are. It no longer suits you, it no longer fits. And so feeling guilty that you are now choosing to be yourself, and as I said, how all the things that come with guilt, you need to question, do I have to be who people want me to be? Even if they did pay for my education, even if they did give me a loan to start that business, am I therefore trapped forever in this business? Am I therefore trapped forever doing this thing that I don't want to do? Even if they don't agree with me, am I therefore trapped forever doing this thing they want me to do when I don't want to do it anymore? Am I trapped? No. Question the idea that you are stuck in place, that you have to do things in a certain way in order to please people. Do you need their approval? Really? Really? Will you really truly lose everything if you follow your own insights, your own intuition? Do you actually need them to understand you? Really? Do you need them to see you? Really? Do you need them to acknowledge you? Really? Do you need them to give your life meaning? Really? Really think about these things, because sometimes we accept, particularly when it comes to relationships, There's a lot of flawed ideas around relationships that I accepted as it's just the way it is. Do I really have to slow myself down when everybody else is in order to make sure I don't go faster than everybody else around me? I've had people on the phone with me who are refusing to allow themselves to do the things that they know they're called to do because they're worried about leaving their tribe behind. And it's like, don't you think you'll be of more service to the tribe if you actually get yourself to the level that you're meant to be at? And sometimes people don't see this, or it can be when just come from maybe your first generation or second generation immigrant, and your family has certain demands on how much money you're supposed to send back to your home country or whatever, and all of this, and this idea that you have to keep sending money back. And I see it generations of families where their finances are forever restricted because yes, you were sent out of your old country. You were brought into this. You're now a first generation or second generation immigrant, but now all any extra little money you have is always sent back to home, and you tell yourself it's the nice thing to do. It's what I have to do. They at least they sacrifice everything to send me here. But do you not see the big picture here? The big picture being that actually, if you stay using your money a little bit different, you would, especially if you focused and decided that you were really going to grow your wealth, then you would have more money to support your tribe if you still want to. But when you're doing it when you're not even in a position of strength yet, question that instead of just going along with it because it's what my family demands of me, it's what my everybody expects me to do, blah 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 blah, or taking care of certain people and giving up your life in order to take care of certain people and all of this that we just accept as, oh, it's nice, that's what nice people do, that's what good people are supposed to do. Question these things. Don't just accept them as gospel truth. For each person, the answer will be different. Sometimes, yeah, maybe that is what you're supposed to do. For some of y'all, it isn't what you're supposed to do. You're just going along with it because it's duty, because you think that's how what loyalty looks like, and you haven't questioned it. Sometimes questioning some of these things is difficult, okay? Because yes, certain family members or friends will think what they want to think about you, which is why if you really need them to approve of you, then you're in trouble. You'll forever be trying to follow duty instead of what is my life meant to be about? Because you can't leave the responsibility for living in your purpose with anybody else. You are responsible for living in your purpose. You're here for a reason, and if you do not take it seriously, why would anybody else? So question some of your actions, your behaviors. Just because everybody does it this way and they've always done it this way doesn't mean you shouldn't question, is this right for me? There's no hard or fast answer, there's no right or wrong here, but have you questioned what you're doing? Or are you just going along with it, not realizing that you have chained yourself or locked yourself in a cage that you're refusing to set yourself free from? Pay attention. It's not always easy to make one of the reasons why people do not question some of these things is because, frankly, the idea of facing up to your family or whatever and saying, no, I don't want to do that anymore is hard. Yeah, it is. I'll tell you that right now. It can be hard because I've had to do it. I've had to do it. And it's not always easy to do that stuff. I get it. And yet I ask you to question, because some of y'all are not allowing yourself to live the life you're meant for because you're just going along with the tribe when you are meant to be way sure. You are meant to be bringer of the new. You are meant to be generational wealth creator, and you're not going to be able to do that if you're just going along with the tribe. Wake up. So number 2 is question what you've assumed is just the way things are. Really? So when once you've woken up, so number 1, you're aware that there's something wrong here. There's something wrong with the way I'm approaching my relationships and the way I'm approaching people. Okay, question your behaviors around people. Question what you're doing. Is this actually taking me in the direction that I want to do? We need to poke holes in these beliefs that you've accepted as normal truth. And this is steps that I take my clients through because when I start working with people sometimes, and this happened to me as well, my coach had to point out certain things to me that I wasn't even questioning. Certain relationship issues I was having that I just thought I had to put up with until my coach said to me, yeah, but why are you doing that? You could just say no. And it hadn't even occurred to me that I could just say no. And for some of y'all, it hasn't even occurred to you that there is another way to live. which is why sometimes, yes, you can look at this stuff yourself, but sometimes you need help. You need help to see it, because if you could have seen it alone, you already would have. You are intelligent, you're powerful. If you could have seen this stuff alone, you would have seen it already. But you're so used, because you were trained into it, programmed into thinking a certain way. You don't realize that you are in this approval trap and it's limiting your bank balance, but you don't realize it. But so first you need to be aware of it, aware where the issues are, question these things that you accept as truth. Okay, because a thought has entered your system. Maybe it was from childhood, from religion, from your family, from your culture, from some past painful experience, or well, you maybe you've been misunderstood at some point or rejected at some point, and now that thought has become something that you've thought and thought and thought and thought, and you've just allowed it to stay there, and it's become your reality. No, no, it's become unquestioned law. It's not. You need to question this stuff. You need to question this stuff. The divine says right now it feels like this pain is all there is, but there is more. There is more. There is more to your life if you will, one, question and poke holes in these beliefs that you're accepting as truth when they're not truth. And then the next step here is start creating new ideas, new beliefs, okay? New beliefs that actually set you free. So start creating new beliefs. So you finally see this way of doing things is not working for me. What would I rather believe? Now you can lean into the divine and say, because one of the things the divine said in that download is, see yourself as I see you. See yourself and love yourself. Admire yourself. Admiration does not always have to come from outside of you. So no, you do not need other people outside of you to admire you. Okay, you don't. Admire yourself. Lean into the divine. Allow the divine to love you. Okay, approve of yourself. Dare to approve of yourself, even when your beliefs, or even when you are going against what you have been trained to believe you have to act like. Approve of yourself. See yourself as the divine sees you. Begin to love yourself. A lot of you, you're getting insights from the divine, but you're ignoring them because they do not fit what you've been told to think. I remember when although yes, I don't go to church much anymore, but I remember when I was changing from being Catholic to becoming just plain Christian, and my family was worried that they were worried that that church would take over from family, that I would start doing what the church wanted me to do and not what my family wanted me to do. So not worried that I would be, taken in by anything. No, it was that I would no longer be under their bidding. I would no longer be willing to do their bidding, basically, which even at the time I thought that's slightly weird, basically. But that can happen where, yeah, in some cultures, in some families, in some ways, some friendship groups, you have a role that the people want you to play. And they don't want anything to take you away from it. And now you are trying to start and create new beliefs or new ways of acting. People may not like it, but you have to create new ways of believing that it's okay if people don't like what I'm doing. As long as I am on my purpose path, that's what's most important. And to me, it is that's what's most important, really. But I know that you may not actually think that just yet. You may think it's most important to make sure everybody in your life is happy. You may think it's most important to make sure you're being really nice to everybody all the time. You may think it's really important that you lay down your own desires in order to make sure everybody else's desires get met. You may think it's the nice thing to do to sacrifice yourself in favor of everybody else. And I'm telling you, no, it's not. Create new beliefs around this. It's okay for me to be a priority in my own life. The divine and I are enough. I don't need anyone. Well, the belief will be the divine and I are enough. The divine approves of me and I approve of myself. So you don't necessarily need to affirm, I don't need anybody to approve of me, because that just affirms what you're not wanting to affirm. But affirm, the divine approves of me and I approve of myself. I am enough. I've always been enough. I will always be enough. I'm one with the divine. I'm powerful. I'm limitless. I'm the God of my life. I'm partnered with the God of all life. I am powerful. I'm limitless. I am never alone. And so that starts to break the need for approval from other people, because you start to realize, I'm enough. I'm enough. I am enough. I don't need people outside of me to approve of what I'm doing for me to be enough. Okay. Now, these can't be just cute things that you say, nice little phrases that you say. You have to, which brings me to number 4, I guess, which is that you need to reinforce them over and over and over again. or else you'll keep being pulled back into going along with what you've been told that this is the way it's supposed to be. No, it's not necessarily the way it's supposed to be. And there may be I say this all the time, but there may be a season where some of your current relationships fall away or they get uncomfortable for a bit. Allow that to be the case and really establish yourself within the divine. Really start to love and accept and trust yourself, even when you're going against what you have been trained to do by people outside of you. Okay? To start with, some of these new beliefs that you're taking on are going to feel uncomfortable. You will feel guilty to start with because you've been trained to feel guilty if you are doing anything that isn't what you've been brought up to do. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make your new ideas wrong. It just makes them unfamiliar. This work that I'm doing or talking about here, it really is hard to do it alone. I'm not going to lie because yeah, you're surrounded by people who want you to stay in place, stay doing exactly the same stuff. But you are someone who is called to something more. You're called to a bigger life. And this approval trap where you're trap where you're waiting and wanting everybody to approve of you and understand you, it will not allow you to live the life that you're meant for. This is why people get to the end of their lives and realize that they didn't do the things that they wanted to do because forever they were wondering how they were coming across. Enough of this. It will sound arrogant at first that you think your priorities are should be considered a priority. It will feel arrogant to begin with. You may feel guilty to begin with. But then as you practice these new ideas, these new beliefs, you realize there's nothing wrong with me putting myself first in my own freaking life. Basically, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And in fact, it is essential. If you are actually going to be of service to the people, one, the people in your current existence, as well as the people you're actually called to serve, you better get yourself to a position of strength. And you cannot get yourself to a position of strength if you're continually in this approval trap, waiting for other people to give you permission before you do the things that you're meant to do. Enough of that. Enough of that. Now, number 4, as I say, is reinforcement. So yes, you create new beliefs, new ideas that you choose to build your life upon, but then reinforce them. So you have to say them over and over and over again. The same way you took on these current ideas and took on these current behavioral patterns, you're going to need to practice your new ones over and over and over and over again. And this is where many people do tend to fall off. They see the old pattern, so you're aware of it, you question it, you create a new belief, but then you feel excited for about 5 minutes, but then the physical reality shows up again. Someone disapproves of you, someone looks at you funny, someone doesn't understand why you're doing the things that you're doing it, or they ignore you or criticize you or whatever, or the bank balance doesn't change immediately or whatever. And so then the old guilt starts to rise again and you feel, oh, guilt is telling me that I shouldn't be doing this way. No, it's not true. It's not true. Or your confidence it takes a beating and so you immediately like, oh, let's go back. Oh, it didn't work. It's not true. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. You have to reinforce the new idea, even though it feels uncomfortable to begin with. And it will feel uncomfortable to begin with. You will feel some guilt. You will feel some feeling of, am I sure this is right? Am I allowed to do this really? Yes, you are. Your purpose must take priority in your life. It must. So I was in fact just speaking to someone who's been thinking about living in her purpose for 10, 15 years. 10 to 15 years, she said. She'd been thinking about it. And every time she tries to start something, something will happen in her life. Somebody will need her, somebody this, somebody wants that, somebody that. And then she'll give up her own ideas in order to fulfill whatever that person needs and blah, 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 blah. And this is, as I said, this is how people get to the end of their life without actually achieving everything that they're here to achieve. So again, you have to reinforce these new beliefs. Sometimes something as practical as putting a timer on your phone and repeating these new ideas until they become established within you. They will feel uncomfortable at the beginning. Keep repeating them until they become normal to you. So lean into the divine more. Allow the divine to flow love through you and dissolve some of the old ones so that it's easier for you to establish new ideas deeply in your mind. Okay? I love myself. I approve of myself. I let go of these old chains. I rise victorious in my true design life. I make my true design life a priority in my life. And keep repeating this stuff until it takes hold. And one day you look back and realize, oh, I don't think the same way. It's like I was just saying about, what was I saying about about why at the beginning I thought I thought becoming a coach was going to sound really weird, and so I wanted to keep saying I was a pharmacist forever. Now I wonder why I even thought that way, because I've changed my beliefs around it. Okay. Okay. So the divine goes on to say, you felt yourself straining against the chains or the ropes that bind you to a level of living that is lower than you desire. It's time to let go of the ropes. And that's the call. Let go. Let go of the need to be seen by people who don't truly see you. Let go of the need to be approved of by people who are invested in you being fitting within the box that they placed you in. Let go of the need to be understood if understanding requires that you're going to have to be less than who you are. Let go of the need to be adored by anyone who doesn't actually honor the truth of who you are. Let go of all of that stuff, for goodness sake. Let go of the ropes that bind you up. Let go, let go. You and the divine are enough. You're a self contained unit. You don't need all of this approval. Okay? Come back home to yourself. Okay, so let's start to bring this to a close here. If you haven't got a copy of my book, the Money Manifestation Mastery and Strategic Divine Guidance book, send me a message with the word book and I'll get the link over to you, or go to my link, go to the link in my bio and get it yourself. Now let's end with the love prayer. Let me share that with those that can see my screen. Hold on. Where are you? There we go. Okay, so let's say this together. Deep breath in and release. Let's go. Your love dissolves all doubt. Your love dissolves all fear. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me clear. Your love dissolves all guilt. Your love dissolves all shame. Your love keeps me focused. Your love keeps me in the game. Your love dissolves regret. Your love dissolves despair. Your love restores my hope, my peace, my joy. Your love restores my youth and my years. Your love dissolves resentment and envy. Your love dissolves hate and rage. Your love dissolves any bitter root within me. Your love rebuilds my self-trust and my faith. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love flows freely through me right now, harmonizing and adjusting. Your love flows freely through me right now, resolving, dissolving, evolving. Your love makes me magnetic to the desires of my heart. For a moment there, I want you to picture the desires of your heart. What is that next goal that you're bringing to life? Picture it, see it, feel it, speak of it. Mm. And let divine love bring it to life right now. Let divine love flow through that vision that you're seeing within you right now. I feel your love propelling me forward into greater and greater financial prosperity right now. Money, wealth, riches are flooding into my life from everywhere and in great abundance, with ease and with speed. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, and on that note, we bring this to a close. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you. Until the next time, my lovelies, go forth and prosper. Let go, let go, let go, let go. Look at those 4 things, use them, listen again and again, use those 4 things. They even help you with changing beliefs. Use them. Much amazing love. Go forth and prosper. Bye.